Well, I was already taking all of those. I've already done a lot of research on supplements, but those are just the ones that I regularly take.
Okay. Anything you want? Tell us about probiotics. Why would you take probiotics?
Um, Probiotics are really important for digestion, but they're also discovering now that up to 80% of our immune system is in our gut, in the intestines. So when you have good bacteria in there, it makes your immune system a lot stronger.
Hmm.
I find personally that I don't get sick as much when I take probiotics and that my digestion is just a lot smoother. I feel better.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing. You're back on
Yeah.
mute. Did you want to finish anything? I cut you off.
No, I'm good. That's it.
Okay. I'm sure I'll be bringing you back in. All right. So, moving forward, I did mine on omega-3s, the supplement omega-3s. Um, I got into some of my old 2020 program nutrition guidance book, and this is a list of some of the things that omega-3s is good for. So you've got your, where's my booklet? DJ, can you grab me that white book up there? So it's good for EPA versus DHA. I'll go into more on that in just a second. Yes, please. It's good for heart disease, asthma, type 2 diabetes. It helps a lot with depression. It goes into depression quite a bit, actually. Depression, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, mental decline, ulcerative colitis, dyslexia, prostate cancer, ADHD, breast cancer, allergies, colon cancer, premature aging, skin health, and postpartum depression. It's quite an exhaustive list, as you can see. Let me get my notes out here. Can you look for this for me? It's in this section right there. So the next slide here, omega-3s continued. So essential fatty acids are polyunsaturated. The omega-3s and omega-6s, so that's your essential fatty acids. Omega-6s are fatty acids, they also promote inflammation, blood clotting, tumor growth, and accelerated aging. So you can see that's a problem. Those are things that are combated by the omega-3s. Too much of them are going to create, too much of the omega-6s is going to create health consequences. Most of us have a huge ratio of omega-6 over omega-3, and you could see how that'd be a problem if it's creating tumor growth, accelerated aging, things that people really don't want. And lack of EPAs and DHAs may decrease mental abilities, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. So you can see why it's important to get omega-3s in. That's why I take Omegaplex. It is the omega-3s. There's krill oil. Just finding good sources of the omega-3s. The problem with buying just regular fish oil from like a Target or a grocery store or something, most of their fish oils are going to be omega-6s, which is not something that we need to supplement with. That's something that we need to limit in our diet. So the resource info for this information is I just use an old 2020 Lifestyles Manual that does a report on EPAs and DHAs. So that's the little homework that I did on the essential fatty acids, or fish oil is another. Omega-3 is bottom line what you want. So I got a question on that. Where do omega-6s come from? I closed up my booklet. They're searching frantically. Here, let me see that. It's in this section. Look, fish oil supplements. It's 17 here. 1 second, Kristen. We're frantically searching for it. I don't know why I closed the book. Apparently didn't think that I needed this. But which one are you on? So there's a guide right here. 17 is what it is. All right, I'll come back to that. She'll find it shortly here. So this week we're covering apps, websites, gadgets, and healthy meals under 10 minutes. Okay? So apps, we've got Lose It, www.loseit.com, and MyFitnessPal. I've talked about those already a little bit, but I just wanted to go back into that just a little bit and say those are good apps. Others that you can research would be Meal Logger, Fitness Buddies, calorie counters, diet trackers. So if you're looking up apps for that, that's what these do. Livestrong.com, it's a calorie counter. I'll go into that too. I've got that saved on my computer. 1 second here. Livestrong.com. Awesome for food, nutrition, cooking tips. This website, I was blown away like how much stuff they actually have on here. A lot of it's free. You can get a paid subscription to this. Just an awesome resource. Cooking tips, splurging, vitamins, supplements, recipes, Miller, My Plate calorie tracker. You can put your goals into this and it'll help guide you along the way. What I've heard a lot of my clients come to me and say is, well, when I put in my, when they're using like an app like Lose It or MyFitnessPal, they'll say, but when I put in my activity level, I don't know what to put. With our kind of training, I would say that it's circuit training and moderate to intense. But a little caveat on that is I wouldn't enter the activity level. I would just use it for a food application. I would just use it to try to figure out my food. The way that they're going to count your activity level isn't always going to be accurate, and so rather than mess with it, I'd just rather you get your food logged properly, and then with the activity level, trust that you're getting plenty of exercise, especially if you're getting in here 3-4 days a week. We rip it up pretty good. You're going to be burning as many calories as possible. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me see, where are we at? So that's the apps. Websites. So I've got livestrong.com there. Let me go into the Core Performance the Core Performance website. So this one is more of you get a lot more out of this one if you pay for it. It's something that I've done in the past, but I never quite followed with it. But there is a lot. It does keep track. On a daily, you can come in here and put in your pain and soreness level, your energy level, your quality of sleep, your productivity, overall mood, your impact on others, your willingness to get up and train, and then any changes that have happened in your sleep and your poundage and your weight. So you can get workouts here. You can get reports, nutrition. A lot of that's paid stuff. But just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's out there, this is one of the best websites for that if you're going to get a paid subscription. I believe it's $10 to $30 a month, and that you have options to pay for it all up front. But they're essentially trying to personally train you over the internet, which I think is a good move, but if you're not doing anything, but I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the in-house kind of thing. So that's the Core Performance. Let me see here. So we're also going to be doing a member site coming soon. I've purchased software for it, and I'm actually looking for help on building it out. So I wanted to, while I've got you guys captive, ask what are some of the things that you would like to see on there. Kind of my plan, my ideas are so far is to build out like the Fat Furnace and the Cemented Success with slides and quizzes and all of that, and then have people go through it in a module, kind of section 1, Nutrition 101, and then it can be checked off as done. And then you'd go through all your modules. Maybe it's something that, I don't know, there's a prize when you complete all the modules, but go ahead and type into the box, and you guys in-house let me know some of the things, what ideas, give me some ideas for a membership site, and if you've been a part of one before or anything like that. Never been a part of one? Okay. So let's see here. Definitely would love to connect with other members, get support, share victories, etc. Yes. Recipes, good. A nutrition calculator. Michelle, can you tell me a little more what you mean a nutrition calculator? Kind of like the Lose It app or something? Workout of the day, good, Chelsea. I like that. Yes, where you put in the food quantities. Okay. Okay, so there's some good ideas. That's kind of what I was thinking too. The workouts, the recipes, and the modules.
Workout routines, like in unsupervised.
Yeah, unsupervised workouts that you could do at home without really. Favorite links, good. Yeah, I'm getting ready to share. I have been sharing some of my favorite links. So, to a food calculator. Gotcha. Links to a food calculator. All right, so good. I appreciate the feedback. Let me continue on with my resources, blogs. So I'll move on to blogs. This is a little buddy of mine, Pat Flynn. He's a young guy who's really tearing it up in the fitness industry. He does a lot with kettlebells and the paleo diet and teaching people minimalism. So I suggest you check him out on Facebook, Pat Flynn. Talks a lot about being strong. He's from the same school of thought as me. Big up-and-coming kind of guy on the fitness scene. Dan John, this is maybe my favorite fitness coach that there is. It's between him and Billy Beck, but this guy's just wears his heart on the sleeve. I've seen him speak live, and he's just comes from a very good place, very down to earth, big heart. Knows how to he puts things in perspective for you that make what matters be what matters, rather than all the strife and conflict of life. So Daniel John I definitely suggest following him. I tried to friend him 3 years ago, and this guy has too many friends on Facebook. I don't know if you knew that, but there's a limit to how many friends you can have, and he's reached it 3 years ago. Kind of wild. So that's Dan John. You saw Pat Flynn. This is a personal trainer in Florida, a guy I've gotten to know over time and I've always looked up to since I started my business. His name's Billy Beck III. Very motivating person, very motivating. You get on his website, check him out. He's helped a lot of pro athletes and just kind of a big-time name in the personal training industry. Check out his website. Nikki Glow. This is actually crazy. This is a gal that I went to junior high with way back in the day. She's been posting all kinds of good stuff about nutrition. I reached out to her, and she's like, yeah, she's a registered nurse, and she's definitely willing to help me with some nutrition classes coming up for the 6-week challenge. So she's going to help me with the meal plan, and she's also going to do a nutrition class for that. So that's pretty cool. I thought I'd give her a shout out on here. Pavel Tatselin. So this is the guy that brought kettlebells to America. Big Russian dude, super strong. Just a no-nonsense kind of guy. You can kind of tell from his website. But I definitely suggest you check him out. Even if you're not necessarily into all the strength stuff, when he talks about like the mental conditioning, mental toughness stuff, he's coming from a good place. He's definitely somebody I resonate with. Another resource you guys should check out. So, and then I think that's it on blogs and other websites for people to follow. Yep. Okay, so books that I suggest. And these are just kind of mindset books, not really workout or fitness or nutrition or anything like that. This is just kind of helping beyond the gym, just keeping your mind in the right place. We got Brendan Burchard, The Charge. Those of you that have been part of my mastermind groups, we meet every 2 weeks on Wednesday nights here at about 7:30 till 8:30 or 9, and just discuss the Charge book and the Dream Manager book. And the Charge is one of those ones that you just can't help but feel better after you've been reading it and practicing some of the exercises in it. Check it out. First Things First by Stephen Covey. That's just a good book for helping you keep things in perspective on what matters and why we're doing a lot of the things that we're doing. We don't lift weights and get in shape just to lose weight. Like, that's not really what it's all about. It's about becoming the best of ourselves, best version of ourselves possible. And that's where I come from as you guys' fitness expert, as you guys' fitness coach, so you have a better understanding of that. And then Psycho-Cybernetics, Dr. Maxwell Maltz. That's an older book. He started out as a plastic surgeon, and a lot of his clients would come to him and be like, my whole world is a mess because my nose is too big, or my ears are too big, or something like that. And they're laughing in the house a little bit here. It's crazy that people get like that, but he started seeing patterns and then relating back to the client and actually helping them with their personality before he would ever do any surgery. And he found that he helped people a lot more by helping them with their mental makeup more than he did with his scalpel. And so that's an awesome, fantastic book, lots of good exercises in it. I strongly suggest these books. I wouldn't just toss them on a list. These are books that definitely help the mindset so that you can continue on your fitness and health journey and beyond with good strength, with a good frame of mind. All right, gadgets. We got gadgets here. I did have Fitbit on. One second here. So the Fitbit. Okay. Fitbit. These are awesome. Michelle Javon, you've got a Fitbit. Lisa's had a Fitbit. It's something that we're getting for our one-on-one clients when they sign up. They're anywhere from 70 to 100 and something for per Fitbit, which seems expensive for just a simple pedometer. But when you think about it, it's keeping track of your steps, your sleep patterns, how active you've been, calories in and out. You can set up food plans. You earn badges as you go. You can invite friends to interact. It's really an awesome tool to help keep accountable and help you understand where you're at and some of the holes that might be in your fitness endeavors, in your health. So I strongly suggest them, especially if you're serious about this fitness thing. Get yourself a Fitbit. Start keeping track of a lot of this stuff. You might be surprised. You might be able to make some dramatic changes just by becoming more aware of some of the things that you're missing out. Maybe you're not sleeping, or maybe you're not getting all the calories. Kind of just pulls it all into one place, and I like that. Let me get back to the PowerPoints here. Couple other gadgets. Heart rate monitor. Awesome for trying to figure out how many calories you're burning. That's why I said don't really leave it up to an app. I would get yourself a good heart rate monitor. The ones with the strap across the chest are the best. They're the most accurate. The watches work all right as well. But if you're really interested in finding out how many calories you're burning per workout, or what kind of energy output you're putting out throughout a day, then get yourself a heart rate monitor. Pedometers, especially for people new to weight loss, I strongly suggest them. A lot of the time people aren't getting enough activity, even though maybe they're working out on a 3 or 4 day a week basis. But just to make sure that you're filling in on the off days, that you're getting plenty of steps, plenty of activity, plenty of movement. It's important as you're creating this healthy lifestyle. And then a good old-fashioned food journal. I threw that on there because, and I know a lot of you have heard me say this, but keeping track of a food journal is where I've seen all of my clients that have gotten most success. It's because they started maintaining a handwritten food journal. And the reason I think that is, and it's because you're starting to build a relationship with your food. You're seeing every day when you write down chicken breast, how many calories from fat, how many calories from protein, how many calories from carbs. You're seeing it over and over again. You're starting to build a relationship and understand the food and what you need, and you can compare that to how you feel and what kind of results you've been getting. Versus just punching it into an app. That's good, especially if you're not going to do it otherwise. I used to be way more intense about that. You guys, these ladies remember I used to force them to handwrite it in blood. Just kidding. But so if you're not going to do it otherwise, then go ahead and use an app. But if you're getting serious about it, I suggest that you write it down. That way you build a relationship. It's kind of like the old cell phone thing. Back in the day, before we had cell phones to memorize everything for us, we would memorize everybody's number. If you met somebody and you wanted to remember their number, or you wanted to talk to them again, you had to remember their number, or else you would never talk to them again, unless you saw them or something, but you couldn't call them. It's kind of like that. You punch it into your app, and then it's easy to forget, or just not even punch it in, and so that's why I feel strongly about the old-fashioned food journal. All right, so tricks. We're moving on to the tricks. Did you ever get that figured out? Okay, real quick, before tricks, I want to go back to, Kristen had a question about where do the omega-6s come from. So let me go back. So omega-6s, I've got the list here. The imbalance of omega-6 and the omega-3 fatty acids in the American diet is caused by grain-fed cattle versus range-fed cattle. The average American eats 66.5 pounds of grain-fed beef per year. If they ate pasture-fed beef, it would save 17,000 calories per year, or about 6 months of bad fat. Holy shit. Holy cow, I mean. Holy cow, that was good. Okay, pasture-fed beef has 6 times more omega-3s than grain-fed beef. The main sources of omega-6 fatty acids are vegetable oils like corn, sunflower, and safflower. Omega-3 fatty acids are found in fatty fish like flaxseed, walnuts, and canola oils. So consuming any fats, including omega-3, subjects the bloodstream to free radicals. Consuming antioxidants, such as vitamin E, can combat this. So if you're taking a fish oil, it's important to supplement with a minimum of 200 individual units of vitamin E daily. EPA, DHA, which play a role in preventing hardening of the arteries, which cause most heart disease. So that's kind of back on that. Was there any other questions? Kristen Friesen says paleo diet. All right. Does that answer your question, Kristen? Yep. Okay.
Yep, I'm good, thanks.
You bet. All right. I just know she has a microphone, so I can call on her. All right. So moving on, let's get down to, where were we? Tricks. So the fork trick. This is an oldie but a goodie. So when you get a salad, when you order a salad, get the dressing on the side, and then you dip the fork into the salad dressing before you get the lettuce or the greens or whatever else is in your salad. And then that way when you take a bite, the last thing that hits your lips and your mouth is the wet of the salad dressing. And that's really what you're seeking. So you save yourself a lot of the salad dressing rather than smothering it all over the salad and even having it on the side and pouring it on a little bit at a time. It's better to just dip your fork in it. You don't get that much salad dressing, but you still get the effect of the wetness on your lips. Another trick is keeping snacks on hand. Yeah, it's real tricky, I know, real tricky. But Chelsea Bates did that today. Good job, Chelsea, with the fork trick. So snacks on hand, it's like moms with young kids, they've always got snacks on hand. They know that if they don't, then they're going to have a nightmare on their hands. Why don't we use the same thing for adults, as adults? It's just good thinking. The Greek yogurt ranch, so trick there is take a big thing of the Greek yogurt, the plain Greek yogurt. Gobani has one of the best ratios. There's a Costco brand that has a great ratio as well. But you get the plain Greek yogurt, and then you buy like a dry ranch. And I know that it's not as good for you without the ranch, but you put a dry ranch in, you mix it up. Now you put that on all of your salad or sandwiches or wherever else you might use ranch, and you're actually getting a lot more protein, and it's a much healthier source than like mayonnaise layered, ranch. Another trick is this is something I do because I love Taco Bell, but when I consider the source of the food and how nasty the food is, then it's sure a lot easier to steer clear. I even can feel sick to my stomach just from thinking about where the food comes from. And so considering the source, if you're about to eat something bad, consider the source. Another trick is remembering your why. This isn't so tricky. This is intense. Remember why you've undertaken all these changes in your life. Remembering why you're working out so hard. Remembering why it's important to set a good example for those people around you, and just reconsidering your why when it comes to making good food choices. That's very tricky. So that will definitely help you make better choices. And another thing you can do is a little trick is announce to your accountability system. So like your circle of influence, the people that you're around most often, the people that you spend the most time with, the people that are most likely to call you and say, hey, let's go check a movie, or let's go out to dinner, or let's go hit the bar, or whatever it is. Let them know what your intentions are, what your goals are. If you tell your circle of influence, hey, I'm trying to lose 15 pounds by April so that I can enjoy my vacation in a bikini or whatever, and that same circle of influence that you announced your goal to is trying to undermine you with beer or ice cream, then I would strongly suggest that you reconsider your circle of influence. But you telling them that that's what your intentions are, now you kind of have to. Now you can't really duck it anymore. You kind of have to stand up. And that's a good trick. That's a good system. It kind of goes along with the buddy system. So having a partner or somebody that you're taking on these challenges with, somebody that you're taking on your your workouts or your nutrition plan or your meal tracking or whatever it is, if you have a buddy who's in it with you, it's a lot easier to succeed. And then again, another trick is remembering that it's one day at a time. I had a client who may or may not be on this call tell me about how they went let loose with some peanut butter. It's like, yeah, that's not the best choice, but so what? It was one day at a time, making good making good decisions. And then if you do tend to mess up, or if you do mess up once, then it's right back to it the next day. It's not. You don't let it bleed into other decisions the rest of your life. I saw a Facebook quote. Gosh, I'm going to butcher it. Anyway, I'm not even going to try. So, bottom line is, if you came out to your car and you had a flat tire, don't just take a knife to the other 3 tires because you've got one flat. If you mess up, so big deal. So what? Big deal. You know you can get back on it. You know why you're doing it is a strong reason. You've got your buddy system. You've got your tricks on hand. You keep snacks. You do these things, and then it's not a big deal. Don't slash the other 3 tires just because you had a flat one day. All right. Michelle Javon shared one more here. Let me pull that up. She says, you can also toss the salad in a container with a very small amount of dressing. I use a large Ziploc container with a lid. Put in a teaspoon of dressing and shake. You make the dressing, you know what the quality of the ingredients is, and then you're winning. Good tip, Michelle. I appreciate you sharing. All right. So meals in under 10 minutes. Let me see here. I'm going to share this. Copy. Let me put it into the box. Kristen says, surround yourself with people who will inspire health and fitness. If you don't have any in real life, go to social media. That's right. Social media is always there for you. Good, thanks, Kristen. I'm trying to figure out how to share this link with you guys so that you can opt in and get this 10 recipes from me. One second. Copy. And go to Empowered Recreation. Thank you, Michelle. I love the shout out. Chat. Type message. There we go. Copy. Paste. Send. Alright, so that way you can just click on the link that I've shared. It should be in the chat box now. You guys can see it. Make sure that, let me know that you got that you can get that. And then there's just an application. You just fill out the form. It's your name and email, I believe. And you'll download the 10 meals in under 10 minutes. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go into that. But the floor is open for discussion about ideas and plans. So two things. Let me know that you can get that link, and then also anybody have any ideas or plans that kind of go along with the discussion of the day. Anybody, somebody? You guys are all uploading the app, huh? Got the link, yes. All right, thanks, Chelsea. That's what we needed. I guess I can go through and make sure you guys heard. So Kristen's doing the vitamin D, cod liver oil, and magnesium. She talked about why she does probiotics as well. Omega-6s, we talked about where they come from. Let's see here. Michelle shared the salad trick as well, with taking just a tablespoon or so of the salad dressing that you made in-house and shaking it up with your salad. That way you know it's high-quality ingredients and it's very little, very small amount if there is anything unhealthy in it. And then Kristen also said sharing yourself or surrounding yourself with people who will inspire health and fitness, and that's absolutely true. That's what Empowered Recreation is all about. And Michelle Javon said it best. Go to Empowered Recreation. All right. Planned meals, pre-cooked for the week, good. We've talked about those. Got the recipes, good, Chelsea. You guys bet. You bet. All right, so your homework for the week. Let me get to this. Homework for the week. Uh-oh. Michelle got the recipes. Homework for the week from current slide. Sign up for the newsletter or free subscription to a couple of these websites that I talked about and browse. Let me know what you find next week. See if there's any that are pretty cool to you, or see if you find any others that are pretty cool. I'd appreciate hearing about that. We're going to do a group walk next Thursday night from 7 to 7:30, and then this nutrition class will be live. So instead of on via webinar, we're going to do it in-house. Get everybody together that's doing the Fat Furnace. We're also going to get together next Saturday, do a little potluck Saturday morning after the workout. It's something that we like to do every once in a while around here. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet new people that aren't necessarily in your workout time. You get to share a lot of good food. It's always a good time. Plus, this year we're doing the Member of the Year, or this week or next weekend we're doing Member of the Year voting in-house all week. Can we send out the links for the sites you talked about? Yeah, I can send out the links. No problem. No problem. I can make a list of the links and send that out. So we'll cover next week. We're going to cover any topics that you guys want to talk about. We're also going to talk about planning around temptation, stress and anxiety, and then lapse and relapse. So kind of the mental game of nutrition and how to best go about it, and some ways that I've seen people succeed and ways that I've seen people fail. Can I bring my kids on the walk next week? Yes, you can. I think that'd be fun. All right. Is there any other questions, comments, concerns? If not, I'm going to wrap it up. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys' time for jumping on the call with me tonight. Make sure you get your accountability partners on here next week, or down here next week for the class in-house. We'll be wrapping up the Fat Furnace program. You guys have been great. You're welcome, and I appreciate all of it. So take care.